So Cleveland pulled off this miraculous upset last week, and they honestly looked like the better team, but still people aren't really giving them too much of a shot against Kansas City, a team that really only lost one game all season. Their second loss came when they benched their starters. Currently, they're listed at a 10-point underdog, and there certainly is logic for it. Most of that logic will probably be talked about more when I make my video talking about Mahomes and the Kansas City offense going up against the Browns defense. But on the flip side, this Browns offense actually matches up very well against the Kansas City Chiefs defense. There's a good amount of similarities between this offense and the Las Vegas Raiders offense, but I actually think that Cleveland's is a little bit better suited to beat Kansas City's defense. And so let's just get into it. And so I'm going to start off by talking about the Raiders offense and how they attacked Kansas City, because they're the only team to beat Kansas City starters this season. So we'll start off with this play. This is a great example of showing what the Raiders do, where they run the ball a lot. They could be running the ball here. Obviously, Kansas City doesn't know, but they think they might be running it here. However, this is not going to be a rushing play. It's instead going to be a passing play. Henry Ruggs is running a go route to Derek Carr's right, and Kansas City has a cover 2 zone right here. But again, what's interesting is they're expecting a potential run because the Raiders run the ball a good amount, similar to how Cleveland sort of runs the ball and then can run their passing plays through play action, through rollouts, and just through the element of surprise. They can be effective in obvious passing situations, but they're clearly at their best when opposing teams are fearful of the run. So I want you to watch Rashad Fenton. That's number 27 for Kansas City. He's a cornerback, but he's playing the deep. He's going to be going deep on this one. And watch how he's further in because it could be a run, and watch how he tries to scramble to get back. Right when this play starts, he does get back, but now he kind of gets into his position, and he's not totally in perfect position to be able to cover Ruggs. And you have to make sure you're further deep when there's a guy like Ruggs, because he's obviously incredibly fast. And he sort of saw someone else, so that's why he was kind of further in a little bit. It's not great positioning, but it's understandable. And this is something that is set up because the Raiders run the ball a good amount. It can get people out of position. And the Cleveland Browns have made a living off of getting defensive players out of position, so that's the advantage. Now, Carr makes a very good throw on this one. It's a good catch from Ruggs. That's going to be a part of it. Mayfield is going to have a good day, but, he's been on fire lately, so I trust that he'll be able to do so. This one's going to be another good example. Even though it wasn't a great result for the Raiders, it was, the play worked. It's, again, cover 2 zone. This is a very traditional play. This is something you will see every team in the league do, especially the Raiders. You run play action, and you're going to have, they're going to have their tight end, Darren Waller, run a route over the middle. The idea is that because the Raiders run the ball so much, Kansas City players will get out of position trying to stop the run, and Carr can make this throw over the middle. Watch how right when this play starts, basically every Kansas City player is completely cleared out. Now, Carr just misses this throw. He throws it too high, which can't happen. That's actually a bad mistake from Carr. But again, we trust Mayfield won't make those mistakes. And the real reason I'm bringing it up is to just show that these types of plays can really work out against the Kansas City defense, even if this Kansas City defense, admittedly, they've improved. They've had more time to not make mistakes, but still, it's difficult. And the reason why it's, I think, so difficult is they do have to go all out to stop the run sometimes because they're not that great at stopping the run. They're not abysmal, but they're not great. Pro Football Focus has them rated as the 21st best run defense in the league. So, bottom third area, which is not great, but it's not horrible either. But take a look at this one. So what's going to happen is it's going to be a run to the right, and you have a left guard who's going to pull over. You also have a double team with the right guard and right tackle. Those are really the two key blocks. There's, there actually is this is an easy concept for the Raiders to pull off, but they're just really good at it too, and the Chiefs are really not so good at it. Watch, Carr takes a snap, and just look at this, giant gap to run through right here. And this is what Kansas City can give up. It's what they're capable of giving up. Funnily enough, Trent Brown, if you look at him, he's the one he was the right tackle, 77. He's kind of blocking with his hip right here. He kind of turned and made that kind of block. But you know what? Do what you got to do. And there's just a huge gap. And that happens. The Chiefs give up these kind of gaps. They're certainly going to give up these kind of gaps to Cleveland. Now, the concern is, I don't know if Jack Conklin's going to be healthy. I don't know, there's other injuries on that line, so that's concerning for sure, because if they're not healthy, they're just a different team. But I actually thought their offensive line played pretty well even when they had the injuries against obviously a great defensive line in Pittsburgh. So I wouldn't be shocked to see them have a good day even if they have injuries. And then you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to worry about. Watch how this one even ends up going for more yards than you would have thought. Daniel Sorensen missed a tackle. And so that's the hope, is you can get guys into open space. You can get these big runs that forces the defense to kind of go all out to stop the run, and then you beat them over the top. I do think Kansas City is pretty good in obvious passing situations. This one is one of them. It's a cover 2 man. They have Henry Ruggs, who is running a route that can work against this coverage, but it's tough. It cuts away from Derek Carr, so he's going to have to throw it pretty far to the outside. On top of this, he's already on the hash marks to his left, which now means that, it's going to be an even more difficult throw. And the defense knows this is probably going to be a passing play. And when they play man coverage, cover 2 man is what they like to play a good amount of. This is a 3rd down and 9, so again, they know it's not going to be a running play. They can it's easier for Kansas City to have success and get a little creative, or just play something basic, but know that, okay, don't worry about getting beat with the run. Watch, Ruggs takes the snap, and he's going to not really get too much separation, so, it's going to be a difficult throw. The Chiefs' secondary is good when they're playing man coverage. It's really good, in fact. If you can't get them out of man coverage, you could have a hard time. You got to get them in zone. The way you do that is by running the ball, which I think Cleveland will do a good job at, but just the concern with it, I think, is that, if you get these obvious passing situations, 3rd and 5 or longer, that's when Kansas City has had success this season. Carr does not quite make this throw. There was maybe a small window there, but it was a small window, and it would have had to be a perfect throw. You can make one of those maybe 1 or 2 times in the game, but I don't care who you are. You're not going to make that throw 10 out of 10 times. You're not going to make that throw 5 out of 10 times. It's a hard throw to make. Now, there still is a way to beat it, and really you just got to get, creative, or not even creative, but you just got to run concepts that are designed to beat man coverage. And, if you have a guy who can beat man coverage, that certainly helps. The Raiders do have that guy. It's Darren Waller. He's going to run a route that can work against man coverage. So that's what they're doing here, and it makes sense. I mean, this is a good situation. It's 3rd down and 4. They don't want to run the ball. Kansas City knows that, so they can play their cover 2 man with their safeties playing aggressive. That's what they like to do. But, Waller can get open on something like this. Watch, Carr takes the snap. You are going to see Waller get open. He's going up one-on-one against Sorensen. That's the safety. And, you see, this is just wide open. This is an easy situation for the Raiders. And it was a good route, and it was well ran by Waller. Waller makes the catch. The reason why I wanted to bring up this play is because, one, Cleveland has guys who can run routes, have tight ends who can run routes. But more than that, there's someone else that's way better at beating man coverage, and that's Jarvis Landry. Watch, this play was a huge play in the game against Pittsburgh. Landry had a big game, and he really helps keep other teams out of man coverage, which is what you're going to want to do against Kansas City. Landry's someone who you're almost going to have to double team, which really Kansas City doesn't like to do that. They don't like to just straight up double someone. So you might have to, though, with Landry, but then that opens up the door for some other guys, and it allows you to take some deep shots, which, of course, the Browns like to do, or they're going to have to do, quite frankly, against this team. They can do it, but especially against this team, it's what you got to do. But on this play, it's a cover 1 robber concept where, 2 players over the middle. Landry runs a quick route over the middle as well. So basically, he has to get open before he gets to the middle of the field, because if not, then he won't be open again until he just runs all the way to Mayfield's right. But who knows if the play will last that long. But once this play starts, Landry just gets wide open. This is just too easy for Landry. He's great against man coverage. He's really good at these possession routes, and that's going to really, I think, come in handy on 3rd down and 5s. I think Kansas City will still leave him in one-on-one matchups, and I think you got to take advantage of that, and I think they will. I'd be shocked if Landry doesn't have multiple 1st down conversions on 3rd down. I really think so. Watch, Landry makes the grab, and oh yeah, by the way, he's great in open space, and he's going to get a touchdown out of this on a 3rd down and 4, where if they just made a stop, then Pittsburgh would have gotten the ball back. So that's who you're dealing with, and I think that teams are afraid of playing man, and I think that's good, and they can get Kansas City to play as much zone as possible, which they're not as good at, even though I think that they're going to have to, because just what the Browns can do to them through the ground and also with Landry. I know a lot of people have talked about this team looks better without Odell Beckham Jr. You would have really liked Odell Beckham Jr. in this one, who's great against man coverage. That would have made things so much easier. But, it is what it is. It's football. Those kind of things happen. And they still have Landry. That's the nice thing about having two great receivers. And when it comes to play action, yeah, they're pretty great at that too. On this one, it's going to be a cover 3 zone that the Giants are in. And this isn't even play action. It kind of is, but not really. It looks like Mayfield is going to, for a second, think about running a play action. But he isn't even really going to sell it that hard. But the Giants are still prepared for a potential running play. In fact, not just that, but they're also prepared for Baker Mayfield to scramble. So that adds this added element. When you play zone, guys have to sort of be aware of the quarterback run along with trying to play coverage. Watch, Mayfield takes the snap. He doesn't really fake a handoff. But you notice how open a player downfield is. And part of this is because the Giant who was covering over the middle in that area, he's now rushing in since it looks like Mayfield could maybe run for some yards. He doesn't want to allow that to happen. But now you're just leaving someone wide open downfield. Honestly, Cleveland is great at this kind of stuff, and they're really difficult to stop. And this is just a great matchup against Kansas City. I think Cleveland's going to score a ton of points. Now, I think they'll give up a ton of points too. I'll talk about that in my next video. But yeah, don't count Cleveland out. They have an absolute shot here, and I do expect this to be a shootout to some degree. I think Cleveland does just an incredible job on offense. I think that I'm going to say there's going to be an 11-possession game. I'm going to give them 33 points, which would be 3 points per possession, which is very good. 33 points in 11 possessions. Will that be enough to beat Kansas City? Well, you'll have to tune in to my next video to find out. But yeah, that's what I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.